Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 121, and today we're going to talk about the three key ways to maximize your sales from paid advertising. So before we do that, I also want to let you know about a resource that I think you will find particularly valuable over at johnblakeaudio.com. What you're going to get is a free audio training where I actually am going to show you how you can double sales with your existing leads. These are leads that you have spoken to but haven't bought yet. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest question that I get when I deal with different clients is, how should I follow up? How much should I follow up? What should I say? What should I write? When should I email? When should I call? This will give you everything you need to do exactly that and double your sales with your existing lead flow. Not only will you get the audio, which goes for about 15 minutes, it's got no fluff whatsoever, it gets straight to the point. You'll get my word-for-word scripts in a PDF download that you'll also get with the training. So it is waiting for you at johnblakeaudio.com. Go over and grab that, and I look forward to hearing your success story. Okay, so what we are going to talk about is 3 keys to maximizing your sales from paid advertising. So what I'm realizing, in fact, I think there's certainly a pattern at the moment. The last 4 inquiries have come through from clients who are finding it difficult to engage with paid leads that are coming through paid advertising. So really there's 3 main things if you want to maximize your sales from paid advertising. And so I'll list them first, and then we'll go and we'll talk about each one. So the first one is call leads straight away. Okay, so that is so important. Like, it's become more important than what it ever has, especially in recent years. Second one is engage at the level of commitment that they inquired at, and we'll go into more detail in that in a sec. And the third one is have an ongoing follow-up sequence. So have a way that you can follow up with people who have stuck their hand up and said, yes, I'm interested, but for whatever reason they didn't engage with you or they didn't buy. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. So call leads straight away. So what we know is that if you call a lead within 5 minutes of the inquiry, you are 9 times more likely to actually convert them into a paying client, right? I will say that again. If you call a web lead within 5 minutes of their inquiry, you are 9 times more likely to actually convert them into a paying client. That is massive. And I think that the likelihood of you getting hold of them like halves within 3 hours or something, it's ridiculous. So if your company, or you're working for a company that's actually investing in paid leads and you want to increase your sales, you could just do that, right? You could just make sure that you contacted that inquiry within 5 minutes, and you would increase your sales, and you would probably lead your sales team just by doing that one move. And, too often I talk to businesses, they're like, oh, how often do you get back to leads? Oh, you're usually within the first 2 days. It's like, no, that is way too late. Way too late. So call leads straight away, please. The second one is engage at the level of commitment that they inquired at. So this has literally been the last 3 or 4 inquiries that I've had for work in the last 4 or 5 weeks, where a web lead comes in and we respond, but we respond too much. Like the response is too heavy-handed for the level of commitment that the person has inquired at. So what I mean by that is you've got someone who has probably opened up 4 web browsers, has chosen 3 companies that they want to send a price inquiry through to, and you're one of them. And so what happens? The lead gets that, the salesman gets that lead, and they call them straight away. And if they get them and they're interested and they can convert them, certainly based on what I just said with key number 1, which is calling people straight away. If you engage with that person, then hallelujah, you're off to the races. If you don't engage with that person, what often happens is that the salesman will send like a 4-paragraph message. So if it was on chat, on Facebook Messenger, if it was on email, send like a 4 or 5 paragraph message with a whole bunch of attachments, and the person just is not committed at that level, So you've just bombarded them with information, and you've kind of given everything away, like you might have even sent them a price, and suddenly they actually don't need to talk to you anymore. They can grab that price or grab that information and just start to shop you around. So we want to respond and engage at the level of commitment that they inquired at. And that might simply be, and we script this out with the clients that we work with and put this all together in a system, but that might simply be asking them a relevant question, just to get a response. The first 2 responses, the first 2 emails, the first 2 messages that you send should be in the form of questions, and they're really just designed to get a response. They need to be relevant to the actual purchase, but they're really only done to create engagement. And so the other thing is that, often it makes sense to actually engage with them using the media that they engaged with. So if it's via text, talk to them via text. If it's via Messenger, talk to them via Messenger. If it's via email, talk to them via email, and get that dialogue going backwards and forwards, that exchange going backwards and forwards to a point where you can actually move it to a telephone call. So that's number 2. Number 3 is have an ongoing follow-up sequence. So you should, at the very least, have an email follow-up sequence, but you should also have a ongoing program for recontacting leads. There's a whole bunch of leads that aren't even contacted in the first place, and then there should be an ongoing dialogue to reconnect with people who have requested information, requested a quote, been given a quote, but haven't actually bought yet. So let me just recap. So number 1, call leads straight away. Number 2, engage at the level of commitment that they inquired at. And number 3, have an ongoing dialogue and an ongoing follow-up sequence. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker's Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies to maximize your sales process with new episodes every week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive free no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.